Ebooks: How to Sell and Market Them by Darren Jewell and Conrad Jones. Narrated by John Delino Ziegler Jr.
Author credentials. Darren Jewell. Darren Jewell is managing director of the Inspira Group Literary Agency. He published How to Sell and Market Your Book in 2010, which tells authors how to raise their literary profile and promote their books in easy and effective ways. It sets out the resources available and outlines which paths are likely to sell the most copies and which will establish the writer as a published author and as a marketable and commercial brand. As director of a professional literary agency, he receives hundreds of requests for representation from authors each month and regularly participates as a panelist in writing seminars and speaks to various writing groups each year. He advises authors on how they can drive and manage each stage of the publishing process for their books, from production to pricing, right through to promotion. Darren has placed over 100 books in the last decade with traditional publishers and represents Michael G.R. Tolkien, Kevin Joslin, David Barry, best-selling business book author Fergus O'Connell, best-selling humor writer Mark Ley, best-selling ebook author Conrad Jones, and Mind Body Spirit MBS author Simon Brown, whose Feng Shui book has sold over 1 million copies to date. Conrad Jones. Conrad started writing as a business venture. It was a change of career, not an artistic project. Although he eventually achieved a respectable income from his books, things were not simple in the beginning, and he learned some harsh lessons along the way. Based on his varied experiences in selling and promoting his own ebooks, Conrad explains to author the things that worked and the things that didn't. He had no agent to start and no publisher to guide and support his efforts. Rather, he learned the hard way, through trial and error. It was a back to front journey, but the success of his ebook sales earned him the interest of a good agent and a publishing deal. If you can follow the simple guidelines and tips set out in this book, then you can build sales and prove to the traditional industry that you are a salable asset in the literary world. Or, if you prefer, you can choose to go it alone and still make a decent residual monthly income. When Conrad turned his paperbacks into ebooks, his thriller series stormed the Kindle charts. Within 3 weeks of launching them, he had 2 titles, The Child Taker and Slow Burn, in the top 10 Kindle lists. Not genre lists, the overall sales chart. All 7 of his thrillers were in the top 40 for nearly 12 months. On the release of his 8th book, Nine Angels, it flew to number 3 in the horror charts overnight. The Child Taker was number 1 in thriller law books, and Tank was number 1 in thriller war books. He achieved over 120,000 digital downloads in the first year. It wasn't just luck. Rather, it was the success of building a marketing base over a period of years and then applying everything that he had learned to the launch of his ebooks. His credentials are actual book sales, a growing fan base, and over 250 5-star reviews across the Soft Target series. Chapter 1: Setting Realistic Sales Targets. Most of the tips and processes in this guide are used on a daily basis by successful authors and publishers. Because of the internet, we are in a position to reach and touch millions of readers across the globe, and if you can grasp the basics and use them regularly, then you will sell your books. Marketing is a relentless but essential part of publishing. To be successful, you need to set aside time every working day to update your profile, assess reviews, social network, and monitor sales and promotions. To set sales targets and plan a marketing strategy, it is useful to know how established brands achieve this. Take, for example, an area manager for McDonald's restaurants. Each restaurant is held accountable for its sales increases or decreases on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. This constant monitoring of each individual restaurant's growth and profitability is integral to their success. As a store manager, you are encouraged to market your restaurant locally, and amazingly simple ideas can actually turn declining restaurants into gold mines. McDonald's is one of the most successful and recognizable brands on the planet, and you can emulate them by working on a daily basis to raise your literary profile and build up your author name as a recognized brand. It's as easy as pie. Plan, implement, and evaluate. As an author without the backing of a big publisher, book marketing is your number one priority, but many authors find that sitting down and planning a marketing campaign is alien to them. I am not going to tell you that it is easy because
Sample complete. Ready to continue?